What's up guys, welcome to an unlikely comparison video. You might have clicked on this video thinking, what the hell is this guy doing comparing a six-figure 996 GT3 against a lowly Honda S2000? Well, consider this. Both cars are from the early 2000s, they have manual transmissions, they have naturally aspirated high revving engines, rear wheel drive, and both of these examples are prepped for track work. So this is a 2004 996.2 generation 911 GT3. It's done just under 40,000 miles, and we're going to compare it against my friend Eric's 2006 Honda S2000 AP2. So it'll be interesting to see which car is more enjoyable to drive on a tight canyon road. I'll put the full mod list in the video description, but the main thing to note with this GT3 is that it has Moton two-way adjustable dampers, and it's got a full exhaust and a tune. So this 3.6 liter flat six Metzger engine, which originally made around 360 horsepower, now makes closer to 400. This car weighs just under 3,000 pounds with some weight saving mods that the owner Yitao did. Full cage in the back, Porsche Recaro buckets. I've driven every generation of GT3 now except the 996 and the 992. Gotta love a Metzger engine. This thing revs out to, looks like 8,000 RPM. So let's see how it feels on this road. And we're on some Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires. That engine sounds so good, especially with an exhaust. Woo, it wants to rotate on throttle. Woo. Suspension is so stiff. These Moton two-way shocks, not exactly designed for this type of driving. Easy to heel toe, very direct throttle response. This naturally aspirated engine. Metzger, baby. This engine absolutely sings. It howls. Not an easy car to drive quickly. On throttle, this thing really does push. It understeers quite aggressively. Let's make some space here on the road. But first impressions, oh my goodness. The engine just completely consumes my senses. It's so loud with this custom exhaust. Very visceral car to drive. This hydraulic steering rack has plenty of feedback, but unfortunately, I think it's way too light. Now, I'm not sure if that's because of these Michelin Pilot Super Sports just not being a very grippy compound for this car, but I wish there was a lot more weight to this steering. I can't quite tell how much lateral force I'm applying to those tires in the middle of a corner. Keep in mind, this is an almost 20-year-old car and an almost 25-year-old design. The interior of the 996 was originally supposed to be the design that went into the 993, but the 993, as you all probably know, ended up getting just a slightly enhanced version of the 964 interior. Not my favorite interior, I must say, in this 996. Everything kind of has an egg-like look to it. These buttons are oval, even this surround for the center console. So enough talk, let's get back to driving. Man, these older 911s really are tricky to drive hard. They do not like to turn while you're heavy on the throttle. Gearing's pretty long in this thing. Definitely lacks front end grip here. Woo. Wow, it tries to oversteer when you lift off. Oh, the suspension's all over the place. It's not tuned for this road. Woo. This car is hard to drive. Let's be a little more conservative on corner entry. the driving experience. It's not dynamically the best car to drive, at least not for the way I like to drive. It's a very unique driving experience, and one that requires a high level of understanding around weight transfer. If you don't know how to manage weight transfer properly in an RR or rear engine, rear wheel drive platform, you won't be able to push this car anywhere close to its limits. It's all about making sure you have weight over that front axle when you need it the most, which is going into a corner. It's all these little nuances that make the 996 GT3 so exciting to drive. This manual transmission, it's fine, it's easy to use, but it doesn't have an amazing shift feel. You do feel the cable linkages. I'll never pass up an opportunity to drive a Metzger powered anything. It's such a legendary engine. Just the sheer sound and the power delivery are just to die for. But how does this 996 GT3 compare to one of my favorite track prepped Honda S2000s? That's what we're gonna find out. Apples to oranges comparison, but that's the beauty of driving very different cars from a similar era. You get to find out just how different these approaches to a hardcore sports car from Porsche and Honda really are. Here we are again, folks, a Honda S2000. I just can't get away from this car. I am never going to promise ever again that I won't review an S2000, or at least have these in comparison videos. This car is even more prepped for track work than that GT3. It's got an extensive list of mods that Eric has installed. JRZ RS Pro 2-way adjustable coilovers, OS Geekin 1.5-way LSD, full bolt-ons and a tune, front splitter and a rear swan neck wing, spherical bushings all around, big brake kit, etc, etc. Of course, this being an AP2, it's powered by a 2.2 liter naturally aspirated inline 4, originally made around 240 horsepower, but this particular one with the tune and the bolt-ons dynoed at 234 wheel horsepower. The car should weigh sub 2,700 pounds with the mods, 200 to 300 pounds lighter than that GT3. And of course, we've got double wishbone suspension all around with plenty of negative camber for track work. We're on some toasted Maxxis RC1 tires, 255 all around, on some Volk TE37 wheels, a classic JDM choice and a perfect fit for the S2000. With that out of the way, let's see how this drives. The turn-in is incredible. There's a little bit of a grind going from second to third gear, but that's only a small detractor from this otherwise brilliant transmission. So much sharper and tighter and more mechanical than the 6-speed in that GT3. Immediately I can just push this car so much harder. It has much better turn-in characteristics, having double wishbone at all four corners with near 50-50 weight distribution. The front end of this car is absolutely pinned to the asphalt. Totally different front end characteristics than that GT3. This car lives to attack corners, whereas in the GT3 you have to be super patient with your brake and throttle application and very gradual. This car doesn't care. You can be aggressive with the pedal inputs and the car will just take it. Nice short gearing with this upgraded final drive. I don't think this will even hit 60 miles an hour in second gear. Love that induction note from from the F22C motor as it revs out to over 8,000 RPM. So easy to heel toe downshift in this thing. It's so hard to fault the S2000's driving dynamics. It just gives you all the options you could ask for as a driver. You can drive it neat and tidy, you can be aggressive, you can be smoother with your inputs, you can slide it around if you want. It'll just do whatever you ask of it, as long as it's modified properly like this one. Ha ha ha. Even with these heat cycled out Maxxis RC1s, this car has so much grip. And these JRZ RS Pros, although they're very stiff and uncomfortable at low speed, when you get up to speed, they handle bumps like no other. I can just go flat out over everything. Small bumps, bigger bumps. This car just refuses to be upset. Although the 996 GT3 and the Honda S2000 are from a similar era, they couldn't be further apart in terms of driving dynamics. An equivalent condition, low mileage 996 GT3 will go for about 3 times the price of an AP2 S2000. The fundamental driving dynamics of an S2000 compare favorably even with the very best Porsche had to offer back in the early 2000s. It truly is a car that punches above its weight class. At Laguna Seca, Eric has clocked close to a 1 minute 40 second lap time in a car with less than 300 horsepower. Just this little 4-cylinder Honda S2000 is able to keep up with the big boys in the canyons and on the racetrack. It's that underdog persona, even compared to the 6-figure GT3. In so many aspects of driving feel and performance, this Honda S2000 really does shine against some of the best sports cars in the world. I would put the S2000 up against just about anything, new or old, and would probably still walk away surprised if I didn't exit the driver's seat of the S2000 with a bigger smile on my face. So let me know what you guys think of the 996.2 GT3. I already know what you guys think about the S2000, but show some love in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more oddball comparisons in the future. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.